You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the February 27th, 2023 meeting of the Michigan City Licensing Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, let's see, everybody can make it tonight. We're gonna open this meeting up. The Michigan City Licensing Board asks for the roll call of members.
Ms. Jim Khalil,
Here.
Pastor Carroll,
Here.
Dwayne Seifert,
Here.
Mark Pinicha,
Here.
and Joe Core, who is not here. And Dalia, our representative, is here.
Very good. So we have a quorum, so we'll jump right into this thing. First order of business, ask your approval of the minutes from our previous meeting.
Motion approved.
Second. Motion been made, seconded. Any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Old business. Hearing none, we're moving right along. I didn't have anything. New business, we have some applications tonight. Okay, Brian Kavanaugh from Romeoville, Illinois, Climate Solutions Incorporated, I guess is what that says. He's paid his money. He's looking for an HVAC license. He took and passed the master mechanical test of the ICC on January 21st of 23. He's got letters of recommendation. Ilco Incorporated, which is a wholesale distributor. Climate Solutions have had a account with us for 16 years. I've been to some of their job sites and their work is outstanding. They stand behind everything that they do and always follow proper installation practices and codes. We've recommended them to some of the end users that call us looking for a quality contractor. They've also done work for some of our employees. Sincerely, Randy Nicholson, product manager for Ilco Incorporated.
Is that for him personally or for the company that you work for?
Well, that says the company, Climate Solutions. This doesn't really say. Sometimes I look to see if he's
The
president.
owner, yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's, I assume, yeah, it made it sound like he was the owner, but.
This really doesn't say.
It just he took the test recently, so I don't know if he's the owner or not.
Yeah. The next one is Schultz Construction and Company Incorporated from Darien, Illinois. I'm writing to recommend Brian Kavanaugh, Climate Solutions for licensing, Michigan City. Haven't used Brian Kavanaugh over 20 years as our primary heating and air conditioning subcontractor of certain Climate Solutions. Will do a great job. During the time working with me as an Illinois general contractor, Climate Solutions has always impressed me with their work and professionalism. I therefore confidently able to recommend Brian Kavanaugh based on this experience. Sincerely, Gregory Schultz, president of Schultz Construction. This is from JDS Home Builders Incorporated. I'm writing as a recommendation of Climate Solutions. I've been a custom home builder in western suburbs of Chicago since 1991. For most of that time, Climate Solutions has been my preferred contractor. The firm has always provided extraordinarily reliable and timely installations for multi-unit forced air systems in floor radiant systems through wall ventilation and unification. The work has generally been one of a kind designs in homes, 4,000 to 16,000 square feet. Sincerely, James Slesher, President JDS Home Builders Incorporated. He's got his certificate of insurance.
Look, he's got everything covered. Make a motion.
Do you think that we should actually make the motion if he's the president? Can we verify that through him?
Two of the letters specifically said.
Yeah.
Or two of them?
Yeah.
Brian Kavanaugh?
Oh, did it say he was the president of?
No, but it
Oh.
specifically had his name in the letters. And then-
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to him.
Sure,
It's just whether or not, if he ever quit working for that company, you
right.
know, or if
You have to move
yeah.
on.
I don't know if that's something that they really police or not, that, I mean, they should, the city probably should. You know, you have the, you know, because I think it lists companies, it doesn't list names, I'm pretty sure. Doesn't it, like on the list, does,
It should be, the list lists companies, but the
Right.
companies are tied to a name.
right, and
I
then,
know when you do your re-up,
Mhm.
it's your name that's on it.
but I don't know if my name is actually like on the thing, or if it's just the company, I thought it was just the company, isn't it?
Oh, and that.
If you look at our
application
list.
itself, you mean?
No, if you look at the list of of your, you know, registration and all that. Like say if a company sold, like we talked about before.
Right.
You know, that,
I think they,
They keep the name into the company, I think. They attach the name.
yeah, I didn't know if they were policing that or
I think
not.
they do track it.
Okay,
I think
all
there's been a couple of instances where they found out that that individual was no longer with the company.
Hmm.
I mean, even with a simple call, I guess, that he's the president. If he is the president, I think we should allow him. I mean,
Well, you know, yeah. But I don't think it doesn't really matter because
Yeah,
it's going to him. And they said, and the letters were saying that it was to him, that he was
the
getting.
exception of one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could have been just an oversight or something, but
But in the past, we had a problem if it just listed the company and they taught, you know, then they didn't say.
Yeah, exactly,
But-
Mark.
but yeah.
That's exactly what I was
Yeah.
referring to, that
Yeah.
we did that in the past, so I want to make sure that we
Yeah.
stay consistent.
Yeah.
take that back. Only one actually had his name on it. I thought the second one did too.
Even with a simple call, so we can approve him in a condition, I guess, just to make sure that he's the president or the owner of the company.
He doesn't have to be though. He just has to work there. It's just that you have to remember that the next time it's up, this is where the city can easily keep track. When you're due up, they would send that, you know, they send you your thing that, you know, that you need to renew your license. It should be to him and it should, you know, not to the company. So if it, you know.
Yeah, my point, I guess, that I think our code says that the recommendation should be to the person. Not to
Oh,
the
I
company.
follow you. Yeah, I follow you.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he has to be present.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But if he's president, that shows that he is the person getting the license, I guess. Even though that the letter is actually directed to the company. I mean, he's in a supervisory position. And
I guess if you're worried about the two, if you are, because the two, I don't think, I guess you don't have to worry about him because he's the one who took the license, it's gonna be his license.
right. No,
I guess
I'm-
two of the
letter
Two of the letters
to
weren't
the company.
addressed to him, but I would think because the one was that we did it mention the one that said who he was, did it mention the company also?
Yeah.
Did it
right.
mention both?
It said, I'm writing to recommend Brian Kavanaugh, Climate Solutions for licensing. Then he went on to say, having used Brian Kavanaugh for over 20 years.
Yeah,
Well, I gotta assume he's
I would
he's a
too.
part of the company. And his
Yeah.
bottom line still comes back to that's the guy that thing's made out to be. And I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think as long as the city tracks that, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how well they do it, but I know that in the past, we've had a couple situations where
Mhm.
somebody's moved on, been with the company a long time, had the licenses,
Sure.
hey, wait a minute, now we got a problem, or he passed away. I know that happened within the last couple of years, we had a guy.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would make a motion that I would make it so that it doesn't have to come back to us.
Yep.
I would just say, if you make a motion that as long as he is, a sitting.
He's employed.
No,
I mean, really, the way he has to be employed by the company, doesn't have to be an officer, he doesn't have to be anything.
I thought that the recommendation is to the character of the person themselves.
yes, and
Not
so
the
what,
company.
so what I was gonna say is if you made a motion that he did own the company, we're not worried about any more recommendations, but if he isn't the owner, then
Then I would
it would need to
probably-
go.
Revise the
Firstly-
letters.
I get here, let me start. If he's the president or the owner, whatever, if he's the owner or whatever, then because the letters were to his company, it's fine, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I guess we're just questioning if he's the owner or not, because if he's not the owner, all of them should have been referred to him and not to the company. I follow you. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
So I would make a motion that if he is not, a officer of the company or the owner, officer, what have you, then the letters of recommendation he needs two more letters of recommendation made out to, that are to him and not to the company. And he could easily that could
could
easily
be
be
the
proven.
same, the same
So,
two letters, just.
Exactly.
So
right.
yeah, so we don't have to drag him through, so he doesn't have to wait again. That wouldn't be really fair, because the way I'm assuming it sounds like.
Me too. I just support the.
Okay, here, maybe we might have solved this. List all businesses owned and operated, managed by the applicant. Climate Solutions.
Okay, done.
All right. That's
Sorry. I
good.
didn't say it.
I guess from now on, I'll read that first page.
So,
We're-
yeah, so I'll
We're
make a motion that he's approved the license. There you go,
I'll
sorry.
second.
All right. I should have looked at that first, I guess. All right, so motion been made, seconded. Any other questions? If not, all in favor?
We're being consistent.
So-
Yeah, that's a
And that's the bottom, and boy. Yeah, won't even go where the last couple meetings I've been at. All right, Vera, we have another one. This is Tom Bergeron with the seal right over the top of it. Looks like. Man, Brian's refrigeration, I think is what that says. They put the seal right over the top of it.
Yes. That's what I
What you
said.
said.
Brian's refrigeration, heating and cooling.
Saltwater refrigerations, okay. It's out of Michigan, again, with the seal right over the top, but I can't make up my mind what the heck exactly it's saying, but. He's trying for an HVAC license. I've got a letter here from Train. I've known Tom for over 5 years, as he's been in my store to purchase materials and orders for projects. He's always been a good resource for information on equipment and systems he works on. I enjoy talking to Tom when he comes in to inquire about pricing and availability and what he's working on next. I always enjoy working with him and supporting him. Kevin Collins, store manager for Daleville Train Supply out of Daleville, Indiana.
Never heard of it.
Where's Daleville, Indiana? Doesn't matter. United Refrigeration Incorporated, to whom we're concerned. I've had a business relationship with Tom for these last 5 years. He's always been professional, courteous, and very knowledgeable about his trade. We've been through some busy years together, and I've always been impressed how much work Tom completes and how much ground he covers. It's always a pleasure dealing with Tom, and I support him in any endeavor. John Burkert, United Refrigeration. Yeah, I need to enlarge that one. Golly, folks. Okay, clears the bell. Massengale, electrical mechanical. Subject, Mr. Tom Bergeson, to whom it's they have concern. I'm acquainted with Tom Bergeson through business activities. He's always done several projects for my company in past years. Highly competent and is the HVAC, in the HVAC and electrical trades. In my business dealings, he has established a straightforward, reliable, and honest character. Sincerely, Kenneth Massengale, President. He also took the test. Took the test on February 4th of 23 and passed it. Master mechanical test. He's got a certificate of liability insurance.
A motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made, second to approve the application. Well, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Sure. Gregory Paul, Valparaiso, Indiana, doing business as Arctic Engineering Company, LLC. for HVAC.
That's the example. See, he said doing business as the guy.
Right.
Usually we hear that, and that's why
Right.
Mhm.
Usually they say.
They say
we're the owner. or
they say they are.
principal.
Yep.
Greg Paul, took the test on February 9th of 2023. Passed it. That's the mechanical test he has a letter here from Time Blank Construction. Right on behalf, what's that? Right on behalf of Gregory Paul to provide my recommendation of work related to his professional. He's worked with Ton and Blank on numerous complex commercial, industrial, institutional projects, and is always courteous and respectful. His work ethic and knowledge of mechanical industry is exemplary. Sincerely, John Gilmore, President, CEO, Ton and Blank.
It's a good recommendation from a good company.
Yeah, well, we got a problem here because we have another letter from Ton and Blank.
Well,
I've had the pleasure of working with Greg Paul over the last several years. I've known him to be an honest and hardworking individual. He's been a HVAC piping project manager and superintendent on multiple projects for Ton and Blank. His knowledge of his trade and attention to detail has always been excellent. Greg has time and again proven himself as a valuable member of our construction team, and we would recommend him as a leader in his field. Sincerely, Josh Schoen of Senior Project Manager from Ton and Blank. And now I have a letter from Franciscan Health. Over the past several years, I've worked with Arctic Engineering and Greg Paul. He's been on the HVAC piping project manager or superintendent on multiple projects for us and always been very professional. We trust in his abilities and his attention to details and has always been excellent. I would recommend him and Arctic Engineering as a firm we trust. Rob Forkowitz, project manager from Franciscan Health in Crown Point. Delta 3. To whom it may concern. My name is Michael Eaton. I'm president and owner of Delta 3 in Hannah, Indiana. I know Greg Paul personally and professionally. I've had many opportunities to work with him over the last several years and have known him to be a hardworking and respectable individual. He's been HVAC piping project manager and superintendent on multiple projects and has always been extremely responsible to our needs and our integral part of our team. Shown over and over again that he's an important part of our construction team, and I would recommend him as a leader in his field. Sincerely, Michael Eaton, Delta 3 president. He's got a certificate of insurance. So I guess even though there's two letters from Ton and Blank, he's also got a letter from Franciscan, plus he's got a letter from Delta 3. So it's
good recommendation.
3 from other people. So
Make a motion approved.
second. Motion been made and seconded to approve this application. Any questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. That could be one of those that someone has changed because they've been around forever in Michigan City. Wonder if it's so good.
Yeah, I know. So I was gonna say that earlier because he's been here forever. Yeah, Arctic, I've seen his trucks.
Arctic is, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Core probably can vouch for him.
But yeah, you're right, though. Maybe somebody that was,
So they had
somebody
else
used to have a license and now, yeah.
All right. This one here, I got a call earlier this week, sometime last week from Sue Downs, building commissioner. There were two people that failed to renew their license as of last week. And she just wondered what we wanted to do with it. And I said, well, it is what it is. If they want a license, they're gonna start over again, submit applications, and if they're in a hurry for it, they gotta meet Monday in order to get it turned in. So one turned it in, the other one did not. So we have a license renewal form for Gaylor Electric out of Indianapolis, Indiana. License holder is John Lupacino. They got a notarized thing saying he is as of November 1st of 22.
What was that? I'm sorry.
He is what, yeah?
What was he from November?
That he was the license holder and is still the license holder is what this is. I think that's what this notary is. It's on the City of Michigan City. I never saw this form before, but the renewal fee is, well, let me go through this. The renewal fee is $100 per license, check mailable to the City of Michigan City. After 12/31/22, your license will be automatically voided and be required to reapply. Please check the renewal form at the bottom of this notice and make any. So I guess what he did, and this is where I was thinking how they keep track of it. This paper goes out, it's got to be notarized. Who holds that license? So evidently, I'm guessing now that they did this, but they did not get it back to Michigan City in time. And what they told Sue, and this is a huge company. I mean, Gaylord is, one of the biggest electrical outfits in the United States. And they said what happened, and it wasn't an excuse, but they explained what probably happened was they've got a third party that manages all their licensing throughout the country. And evidently something fell through the cracks in Michigan City. Yeah.
So the notary, probably it's for the purpose of the date.
The notary, well, I think what was going on, they signed this thing, they did the notary so that they could send this in, and it never got sent in.
I see. What is the date on the notary?
November 1st of 22,
Unless they
which
knew the
means it
notary.
would have been a month ahead of time, 2 months ahead of time.
Unless they knew the notary.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
The assumption is good faith though, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
well,
So are they past the
notary
testing?
is Hamilton County. I don't,
Oh, we wouldn't think.
yeah,
Are they past the testing part?
Well, it
No,
depends
that's
on-
the thing.
it depends on, we never had them take a test.
Because they
Here,
had it back before.
For the requirement.
I can tell you one thing, here's some, yeah. I
Don't-
don't think that's gonna be an issue. Well, it's up to you guys how far you wanna go, but basically, here's his. He's been a design engineer for Gala for 35 years, blah, blah, blah. The man sits on the NFPA code making panel as an alternate member for both 2020 and 2023. He's a master electrician in 100+ jurisdictions. He's OSHA, he's this, he's that. Testing wise, you can make this guy go back and take a test if you want, but I don't see that I think we have to assume that this guy has
The credential.
Yeah, it's not like he hasn't got any knowledge over the last 3 years.
I guess is the only thing is if we're gonna be consistent, because we did told. I guess what's the actual time frame here that
Yeah, maybe we can do it this way, I guess. So the code itself, it says that do they have to submit the application or fill the application, I guess, at a certain date?
They have to make the application by January 1st.
My point, I guess, that the notary is November 22nd.
Which that doesn't, okay.
My point, I guess, that he submitted this application just last week, even though that he filled the application and he has a proof that he filled the application in November. I think that our way, I guess, to help is that we believe him. That they did fill this application and they failed to submit it.
Mm-hmm.
So my point, I guess, in the code, do we have anything that says that they have to submit the application, or do they fill the application and show us proof that they filled this application, I guess, at that time? You see what I mean? I'm trying to actually
well,
say
to be
that when they,
I follow you, and to be consistent, what we've done in the past was in the past, there was no proof like this before.
Mhm.
They just didn't send it in. They would just come give us a story.
right,
So the thing we'd have to decide is this is the first time somebody had proof that they
filled it.
made the effort to do it.
Right,
In the past, it was always, I was in the hospital, I was
Right.
this, I was that. Or this is the first time there's been proof, so I guess you have to decide being consistent is having proof, like
of
you
an
say.
application that is
Mhm.
being filled
This,
with a notary.
this application was sent to him, or this renewal form was sent to him on October 26th of 22, which would have been, I mean, at least there's a date on here,
Mhm.
which leads me to believe that,
Then it was
and
filled.
because he did it
Yeah.
1101, it was filled out and everything, somehow it didn't make it here.
Right,
That's what,
So the decision is to be consistent with everybody else. In the past, we just said no. This time, the only difference is that he's got proof, so.
are we allowing that from now on then?
well, I think the only question here is in the renewal area, it talks about the testing, have you had a test within the last 3 years? And I think that's the only issue that's on the table right now. The guy already knows that he had to reapply, so he has sent his application in, he sent in 1, 2, 3 letters, and paid his money.
How long has he been licensed? This particular, I know the company been around, but do we know how long he's been?
No.
Well, and he sits on board, so I'm assuming that he's an honorable guy, I guess. I mean, you wouldn't lie.
Yeah, I mean,
He sits on the NFP board, right?
yeah, I don't believe,
It's a big board, that's a.
yeah, I mean, this guy.
So here's the only thing I would say to stay consistent is that, like I said, if you hadn't seen the notary thing from the past, you'd have to say, no, you'd have to just do it. So we just have to decide if
If we want to do that in the future, I guess.
well, because this has never happened before. We had proof that
True.
we've never had proof in the past.
I don't think the proof has got anything to do with the guy he filled out the renewal. He's got his renewal here in front of us. He filled out and he gave us 3 letters, that's what anybody else would have to do. Plus he paid his money.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just like he completely reapplied.
Yeah.
The only question that I have on it would be the testing, but then when I read one of these letters, I don't think that's a problem. This letter came from the Fire Protection and Building Safety Commission. I'd like to make my recommendation for the appointment of John Lupacino to Commission's Electrical Code Committee, blah, 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 blah. I know John is an instructor, so this is big. I found John to be very knowledgeable with the NEC and the Indiana adoption of the codes. I mean, to me, this says this guy tested out. So I don't know that that's an issue. Other than that, I don't see where we're going with this.
I think that where I was going with this, I guess that he submitted late.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's why I was saying if he didn't have the proof saying that he did it, and if they just blatantly didn't do it and then just, oh yeah, we forgot, then that's not fair to everybody else that we made retest and everything. But what I'm saying is you kind of have proof here that he made an effort to renew. That's what I was getting at.
Right.
Yeah, but the only thing it comes down to is the testing.
No, I know, and I'm saying that too. I'm saying that's why I'm thinking he doesn't need the test
Right.
because he made the effort.
Yeah,
We have proof that he, we have proof that you had the notary showing he had it done and everything. In the past, what I'm saying is that
But I think, Dwayne, that there is no way out of the test. I think once if they are renewing in a cycle, without being late, we wouldn't question his testing.
No, but when they fail to renew, and it comes to this point, we have it in here that we have to have proof they've taken the test within the last 3 years.
Sure thing. But
Otherwise, they have to retest.
and that's why I was saying, because you have proof that he did make that, made the effort to renew, and it just
on a
somehow,
timely manner.
yes, and it just didn't get
Yeah.
in. We have to decide is that proof good enough that he has to pay the late fee and everything, but is that enough to say he doesn't need to test or anything again?
What I'm saying, I guess, that we don't have discretion to eliminate the testing.
You just think he needs to regardless?
No, what I'm saying, I guess we do have some discretion, I guess, that he proved that he submitted that, or he was trying to submit this
Right.
application
So,
at that time, or in a timely manner. But as far as the testing itself, I think the discretion or the code does not allow for too much discretion. What I see, I guess, that we might have some discretion on is that he has a proof that he filled out the application back in November. It just had failed to come here in our hand. And that's the only reason that I'm saying I don't think it's a testing question, because I don't think we have the ability to waive the testing. But we can say that he did apply in a timely manner, and the proof is the notary. That's what I think. I'm
Yeah,
just
so you're saying he should, from if I'm understanding you right, then you're saying he should retest then?
no. If we approve the date of this
That's what I was
application,
doing too. That's
I
what
think
I
we're
was doing
good.
too. I'm just saying in the future, because we were always pretty good about being consistent.
sure.
So I'm just saying in the future, if somebody really had some pretty
Proof?
concrete proof
Yeah.
like this, then you have to decide if
Sure.
that's, if it.
I think you also, and I don't want to get us into the next hour and a half, but the main thing is you have to look at that test. That's the only thing that applies here. I don't care about when he tried, when he did. We've had other guys come in here and say, yeah, I sent the thing in, blah, 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 but the test. And to me, there's enough things listed here that tells me this guy has tested.
It's a credential.
I mean, he's way ahead of the
Yeah.
game as far as testing goes and whatnot. So
Right.
personally, I think we just,
You can
we're just doing, but however we want to look at it.
I agree with
What do
you
you wanna
from
do
a
here?
function standpoint.
Honestly,
Right.
honestly, if it wasn't, in my opinion, if it wasn't for showing that notary,
Same here.
he's gotta take a test again. I'm sorry.
I would vote no, to be honest with you.
But the only thing on that, I think we all agree that he should get, you know, that he's okay.
Instructed, yeah.
But I don't think it's fair for
For the others.
the others that, you know, because they could argue, I'm just smart as he is.
But they don't sit on code.
I follow you. No, I do. I
That puts him,
follow you.
that puts him so far ahead of anybody else that comes in here.
I follow you.
And I'm not a big fan of Gaylord, so don't make it sound like I'm not standing up for him, because I'm not a Gaylord person, but I think right is right, wrong is wrong, but
I'll make a motion because of the fact that we have some proof that he did try to do that, and because of his
No.
current, you know, the positions he holds, it would be a joke to make him take that test.
go one step further in your, because I see the certificate of liability, we just have to make sure he paid the fees that there's nothing in here that says he paid that extra money that he has to pay.
Well,
The late fee or
The late
whatever,
fee?
yeah.
Yeah,
He needs to
the
pay.
total renewal, the total fee to reapply, which is different than a renewal fee. That renewal fee is $100, and I think the other is, I think it's 150. Well, this could be old now, but it's more money when you reapply, because this is reapplying.
also the application right now is not renewal, it's a
At this point, he has to reapply. I
reapplication.
mean, we can't go around that because that's it.
I told you where I stand is
Me too.
because of the letter having
Yeah.
been dated when it was supposed to be, and because of his background, and you know where he stands. I'm okay with it, but if it wasn't, in my opinion, if it wasn't for the letter,
Same here.
because we've never had proof before. Everybody gives an
Right.
excuse. They were this, they were that.
It was
No-
verbal.
Yes,
Yeah.
nobody ever had show that they did try to renew, and it just, you know, so I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Let him off the renewal fee then, and just have him pay the regular fee.
I would,
I don't
say
think
that-
so on that, but I'm just saying, I think he deserves a pass on the whole having to retest.
Yeah, I think we've already decided that.
Yeah.
It comes back to all I'm saying is there's nothing here showing he paid anything.
I would,
Should he pay the $100 or should he pay the total renewal?
He should pay the late fee. He was late. I just think we agreed
Exactly.
that he-
I think the question right now, it's a renewal process. I hope that he's going through a renewal process, or at least that's what I'm looking at.
Right.
I don't think he should reapply and waive the time. I think it's a renewal process, and we are waiving the timely for the application that he submitted. I really do believe that that's consistent with the code, consistent with what we did in the
so he
past.
doesn't pay the late fee then.
That's up to us. But definitely that's open now. So if he's renewing and paying the late fee, yes, he should. He should pay the late fee. I agree.
Should pay the application fee is what, there is no, we don't charge extra, you know.
For
there's
the
no
late
fine.
fee.
Oh, I thought there was, I thought there was. Oh, I thought there was
It's
a
only
late.
the difference in what
Which is.
what it would be for renewal and what it would be to start from square one.
So because of the proof we have in this and that, do we make a motion that
You
he's just
renew?
renewed then? Is that what you feel?
I feel that way, but I don't know. We're still in discussion, I guess.
I'm okay with, I think we can still be consistent in the future. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be not fair to other people in the past, just because, you know, this or that or the other thing, but I agree with with the way we can see that he somehow didn't, yeah,
He
Just
proved
pay
it.
the $100 and be done.
yeah.
Okay.
Is that the
Yeah.
renewal?
No, it's gonna just be a, yes, renewal, sorry.
Renewal.
yes, renewal.
Yeah.
Should
I make a motion that, I make a motion, it's just a renewal.
Yeah, I will second
And you
that.
can say because of evidence provided.
Okay,
I'll
so there's
second.
no application fee. It's just a
Just a
renewal
renewal fee,
fee.
the $100.
Okay,
I'll second that. The renewal.
renewal fee.
You don't think, I just want to be consistent.
Me too.
I think it would be if somebody else had
Yeah.
stuff like that too, but.
All right.
That's it.
And you said, because you said in the thing was
Just
through
have
a
to vote.
county.
Oh, you still have to vote, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I was just thinking of still talking, so.
No, and you said who was who did the notary?
Jeff Ross.
Discussion.
Who did the notary? You said it was a county or something? I'm okay with it.
County.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Hamilton
fine.
County, although I don't know what that means. Because it's some gal who obviously is a notary within the state or within the county of Hamilton County.
Oh,
He's a very smart man. He's a very smart person.
Yeah.
You know, he submitted the correct information, I think.
okay.
Renewal.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, motion.
any other?
Motion and a second, right? There's a motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Done.
Sorry, I just want to be consistent because that's all. Yep.
I think all of us.
Okay, anything else? Yeah, yeah, buddy.
I lost a lot of calories for this.
All right, if there's no other business, I don't have any. Public comment, I don't see any public comment. So
Motion adjourned.
that's all we need.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. We're adjourned.
Good job, everyone.